marched on Washington, upset and angry over Obamacare and over the wars in Iraq and in Afghanistan. But you didn't get to hear about it, did you? Because nobody reported on it. None of the major media would actually report on it. The New York Times, Washington Post had a few small stories saying several hundred thousand, but you can see this picture, they filled Pennsylvania Avenue. And yet think back to when the Million Man March on Washington. That got news coverage for a week or more. But 2 million Americans march on Washington and it doesn't even get covered. Folks, that is very tight control over the news media. Various world leaders have attempted to alert us that there's something going on behind the scenes and that there's a force, a power somewhere. Woodrow Wilson put it this way. He said, some of the biggest men in the United States are afraid of somebody. They're afraid of something. They know there is a power somewhere so organized, so subtle, so watchful, so interlocked, so complete, so pervasive that they better not speak above their breath when they speak in condemnation of it. It's pretty strong. So who was he talking about? Well, we know that the ruling elite, the international banking elite, the royal families, they look with disdain on the public. One leader has been quoted as saying, we're just useless eaters. And a lot of this comes back to the idea that there's an overpopulation problem. The very same thing we saw in the Sumerian tablets with the ancient Anunnaki god Enlil, who says the human population is getting out of control. We've got to do something about this. All right. Well, today, Prince Philip of England has written that human population growth is probably the single most serious long-term threat to survival. If it isn't controlled voluntarily, it will be controlled involuntarily by an increase in disease, starvation, and war. And I ask you in that about what we're seeing around the planet. Africa is being decimated by disease, wars cropping up all over the place, and there is starvation in third world countries. In fact, this to me is the greatest proof of conspiracy in the world today, and the biggest conspiracy in the world today, because we know that today there is off-the-shelf technology that can provide basic food, clothing, shelter, food, and basic medical attention to every single person on this planet. And yet, while you're sitting here listening to this video, in the back of your mind, you know there are literally millions of children starving to death on this planet right now. Why is that? I don't want that. You don't want that. Well, after you get past the facile explanations, politics and transportation and not enough money and blah, blah, blah. The real reason is because somewhere somebody wants it that way. If nobody wanted it that way, it wouldn't be that way. So that's the biggest conspiracy happening today. But let's take a look at Prince Philip's argument. Overpopulation. Is this true? I submit to you no. Today, the average living space in Hong Kong, and of course there's very rich, very poor, but the average living space is 1,700 square feet. It's a pretty good sized apartment. It's a lot bigger apartment than I ever lived in as a young man. Okay, so based on an average living space of 1,700 square feet, the entire 7 billion population of the world could live comfortably enough in the state of Texas. Nobody else in the rest of the world. So wait a minute, we don't really have an overpopulation problem, we have a population density problem. Everybody's crammed into these giant cities, which is creating more and more of a problem because of pollution, trash, crime, congestion, etc. So what's the solution? Well, I say move out. Everybody spread out and go to other planets and colonize other worlds. But to Prince Philip and the ruling elite, as they consider themselves on this planet, they have a different viewpoint. Prince Philip also has been quoted as saying, in the event that I am reincarnated, I would like to return as a deadly virus in order to contribute something to solve overpopulation. They want to kill us. They want us dead. They want to reduce the world's population from 7 billion to maybe 500 million. And then they can live and have all the pretty countryside with just enough people around to mow the grass and cook the food and wash the clothes. Is this really the future we want? And if it's not what you want, then you better start rethinking what you're doing and how you're doing it. Because these people want us dead, and they're going about it in a methodical manner. We're getting bad vaccinations. We're getting bad air quality. We're getting chemtrails. They are spraying chemicals on us from the sky. And they've even admitted it in certain circumstances. Fluoridation of the water. You realize one of the ingredients of Prozac is sodium fluoride. The Nazis found that sodium fluoride over time can build up in the brain, calcify the brain, and lead to zombification, basically. That's why they put it in the water of their concentration camps to keep the public pacified and non-resistant. And now they're putting it in 2/3 of the water supply of the United States. If your city or your town is putting fluoride in the water, you better start getting active, or your children are going to be thoughtless. Genetically modified organisms. We have no idea what this is going to do to everybody, and yet they're expanding this use all over the place. Although there are now countries in the world who are banning GMO food. But here, they just defeated the law that simply wanted them to let you know when they were putting GMO food in your food supply. Label it. Let us know that that's what we're getting now. They're going to have to do that now. It's incredible. So, this is no longer a political or a philosophical debate. This is self-defense. If you don't wise up and realize that there is a ruling clique in this world that wants you dead and wants you sick and wants you unthinking, then you're just going to end up in an Orwellian society and wonder how you got there. It's pretty incredible because what we have here is a would-be ruling elite that seems bent on killing the goose that lays the golden eggs, and that being the earth with its plentiful bounty of food and water and arable land and plenty of opportunity for anyone to live and be happy. But no, we have to face pollution and economic crisis and political crisis and wars because somebody wants it that way. And it's time that we look at the possibilities that this ruling elite are totally aware of the ancient astronauts idea. They know that there's been technology in the ancient past. They know there has been advanced civilizations. They don't laugh and snicker at all this. They know it's true. So I see this as leading to three possibilities. They're either trying to use modern technology to contact these ancient sky gods, to gain their knowledge, to gain their power, or two, they are already in contact with these ET intelligences and are being guided or controlled by them, or three, they are the ancient sky gods, the Anunnaki, the serpent kings of legend.